The last thing you want to do is come in and say, hey, I'm going to do 4 podcasts today, and the 4th podcast you end up dragging. Hey everyone, it is Josh with Pedal Stopper Productions. Thank you for tuning in again this week. It's Pedal Stopper. It says right here on my shirt. It's up here on the sign too. That's how I knew I was in the right place. But once again, I'm glad you're in the right place here watching along with me this week. We are going to talk about batch recording and what is it, what are the benefits, and what are some of the things that you need to watch out for, whether you're recording on your own or if you're in the studio with us here. So first off, let's just dive right in and define what batch recording is. On my piece of paper here, according to the interwebs, batch recording is recording multiple podcast episodes in a single session. Now, like I said, there are a ton of benefits to that because you're going to get a lot done in just one shot. In the same sense, there are some pitfalls that you really want to make sure that you're going to avoid in this too. So first off, let's start talking about the planning and preparation side of this. And I know there's some people that switch tasks very quickly and very easily. Frankly, I am not one of them. I like to get into something and I like to stay in it until it's done. Let me get this all knocked out. And in this, part of what you get with that is as you're preparing, you've set aside just a cluster of time to think in that podcasting mindset, to think in that content creation mindset. You're going to sit there, you're going to be in that. It's not every week thinking about this for 15 minutes. It's thinking about it once a month for about an hour. And that is the big difference in it. So you're not spending that time getting into it and then getting into another task 4 different times. You're just doing this once. You're getting into it and you're staying there. Now, what you can do with that too is this helps you in the planning of your podcasting episodes. So you can do things in steps. If you're going to talk about step 1, step 2, step 3, and step 4, it would make sense to plan that out and to kind of map that out and how you're going to discuss that all in one session. If you come back to it multiple times, you're probably going to have something that's a little bit disjointed or a different feel to it or whatever. So it's that theme clustering. If you're going to sit down and think about something, think about it all in one shot, and then that way it's going to have that consistency going all the way through. That's the same part of that is with your script writing on this. So not only are you sticking with the same theme, but your script is now going to sound the same. Your questions will be along the same lines. If you have guests in, those questions will all be along the same line. They'll have that same type of tone there. And that is a key for making sure that people get familiar with you. Remember, a big part of why we are doing podcasting is to help people get familiar with you, your brand, it's building that comfort level. It's building that trust. So making sure that you have that consistency to it is a huge help. The other thing is with guest coordination. We all know that when you're going to have a guest on, and especially if it's someone we're all busy. But when you have a guest on, it's coordinating those schedules is always difficult. If you can do this a month out and say, look, I'm going to talk about this topic a month out and I need this person, and this person, you're going to be much more likely to be able to get those guests all at the same time or all in concurrent times, I guess I would say. You may want them all in the studio at the same time, but you can get them at concurrent times. You can say, look, does Tuesday the 15th work of February, March, whatever it is, you can schedule that out far enough. Now you've got your guests in a row and you're going to spend just one slot of time doing that once again, rather than trying to juggle 10 people. When it comes to this also, if you're recording in the studio, you've got some travel time here. If you're recording in your home studio, if you're recording at your home computer or in your office, wherever like that, you've got setup time there because not everyone's got the setup that they just pull out and away they go. You've got to get in the right mindset. There's all these setup time costs that are in there. When you batch record, you only pay that cost once. It's a big thing with that is the fact that you're able to do that cost once instead of multiple times throughout. Huge, huge help with that. So some of the things that I'm going to suggest that you do before you start doing a batch recording. First off, you need to make sure that your voice can handle it. A lot of people can talk for hours and hours and hours and never have a problem. If you're one of those people, that's awesome. If you're trained in anything with voice, making sure that your voice can stay at that pitch or at that level for that length of time is a big help. You're going to want to make sure that you do that. The next piece of that is if you can't, or if you have some issues with that, is make sure that you warm up your voice. Make sure that the night before you're not at a basketball game screaming all night long so you show up hoarse. Make sure that your voice is ready and prepared for that. The other thing is my coffee cup's actually sitting on the engineering desk right now, but make sure that you do some energy maintenance. Coffee is it for me, whether you're chugging a can of Red Bull or just make sure you eat right. Make sure that your energy is up for this. The last thing you want to do is come in and say, hey, I'm going to do 4 podcasts today. And the 4th podcast, you end up dragging. You really don't want that. You want to make sure that you can keep your energy up for however long you're going to be talking about things. So, like I said, if it takes coffee, if it takes a Red Bull, if it just takes eating right, make sure you have those things in place in order to do that. Something else, we talked about voice before. A big part of that is staying hydrated. When you talk, a lot of air is going in and out of there, folks. It can dry out, especially, during the winter, if you're in an area that's heated. If it's during the summer, if it's in an air-conditioned spot, sometimes those can be kind of dry also. So make sure that you have some water handy. Take a sip of water. Take a break here or there. If the camera's on the person across the table from you, go ahead and take that sip of water. Make sure that you stay hydrated. It's better for you, and it's also better for your voice because, like I said, the last thing that we want to be listening to is someone that sounds like a 12-year-old as they hit the big change in life as they're on the mic doing their podcast. The other one for me is minimize distractions. This one drives me insane. I don't know how many times I see podcast hosts, they ask a question and then they pick up their phone and they start looking at their phone. Put it away. Put it far, far away. Whatever it is, it can wait. It can wait till in between episodes. You can check it then and you're probably going to figure out it's not all that important. Put the phone, put the computer, put the other things away. If you're recording on your computer, any unnecessary tabs, your email, your Facebook, whatever unnecessary tabs are open, close those things out. This will not only make sure that you stay focused on your current guests, but as you're batch recording, it will keep you from getting distracted and keep you from getting out of that groove. We talked about one of the big advantages of doing this is the fact that you get in that podcasting mindset. You're getting that mindset of, hey, this is what I'm doing. This is where I'm going. I am ready to go. We're going to be doing this. It lets you get in that mindset and it lets you stay in that mindset. So don't have things around that would allow you to get derailed from that. That's the last thing that we want to do. So there's a flip side to this too when it comes to the batch recording, the podcasts, is now from the editing side, there's a whole lot of greatness that can happen there. Because once again, if you edit your own podcasts, now you're in this, you get in, you edit, you've got it all there. You can A, do it as you want to, and because that you're not dependent on other people, or B, get them all done in one shot so they're done, they're out of the way. It's all done in 1 month. If someone batch records with us, we make sure that we give them that content as soon as possible because, hey, look, we want to make sure it's done and ready for you to go when you need it. That is a huge part with that. The other thing about this is when you're writing show notes, You go through, you look at the text transcript. If it's from us, you can see that. You can go through, you can look at that. You can figure out, like, what voice do I need to use for this? Make sure I'm sticking with my brand voice. Make sure I'm consistent with this. Because as we've talked about, with anything podcasting, video, items like this, consistency is a huge key. So not only consistency in time, but consistency in voice, consistency in message. If you're doing 2, 3, 4 in a row, back to back, guess what? You're going to have a much higher likelihood of staying consistent. On top of this, once again, you can schedule these items. So rather than scheduling 15 minutes here, 10 minutes there, 15 minutes there, you block off an hour or two, and it's all done in one shot. It's rip the Band-Aid off. It is done. You've got your podcast. You are ready to go. For me, the batch recording that we've done with some people has been amazing. Now, we want to make sure that people don't overdo it. I had someone approach me a few weeks back that said, hey, look, we want to come in. We want to record 6 episodes. And I'm like, no way, not the first time. Let's come in. Let's get you 1 episode, maybe 2 episodes, and let's see how you feel after that. You don't start running a marathon. You start with a mile or 2. So keep that in mind as you get going. But batch recording is a huge, huge benefit that we can help you with. That all being said, I really encourage you to subscribe, like, share, all the other stuff. We've got a very, very interesting interview coming up here. I know you're going to want to pay attention to that. The last one that we had with Adam Lefebvre, that one was awesome. Had a ton of fun with that one. We've got more of those coming up. Like I said, make sure you like, share, subscribe, all those other things. I am excited for things that we have coming ahead. If you have questions for us, by all means, do me a favor, put those in the comments below, and go to our website. Make sure you sign up for the newsletter for more helpful tips, tricks, and other items like that. That all being said, thanks again for tuning in. I will see you soon.